Welcome to another edition of Worldview. My name is Jimmy.
Hello, I'm Alicia. During the 16-day government shutdown, President Obama faced many challenges. Now he would like to focus more on his legislative properties, the Farm Bill, immigration reform, and a longer-lasting budget bill. This all depends on the Republicans in Congress and if they will work with a White House they dislike. If Obama gets the upper hand, he is more likely to first push for immigration reform.
Gaza militants say they have dug a tunnel into Israel under this wall separating Israel and the Palestinians. The Israelis say that the tunnel has been used to capture Israeli soldiers. A spokesman for the militants say, "We are working on the ground and underground to release the prisoners who were being held by the Israelis. Kidnapping is the only way to succeed against the Israeli occupation." Israeli discovered this tunnel last week and eventually got all their soldiers back safe and sound.
Around 11 a.m. last Saturday, more than a dozen people in the African nation of Somali were killed in a suicide bombing. The attacker strapped himself to explosive and then blew himself up. This happened near a calf in Bewildland, a city about 200 miles away from the capital of Somali. 4 Ethiopian soldiers were among the dead.
A popular cafe in Iraq was also bombed last weekend. The suicide bomber crashed a car into the cafe, killing 35 people and wounding 45 more. A shocking 385 people have died this month in Iraq alone in bombings like these. Some of these attacks have been thwarted, but sadly many have been successful.
In Romania, the American company Chevron wants to start fracking on Romanian land to obtain natural gas. The Romanians are protesting against Chevron because they feel that fracking is going to harm their soil and their animals. They also say that fracking can affect the drinking water, pollute the air, and make soil around the area poisonous. There are many protesters standing together against fracking, and the government had to hose and push protesters out of the streets because there were so many.
Young adults from the ultra-conservative village of Rohtak, India, have started traveling into nearby cities to attend schools, and while they're there, face the realities of freedom. Maria, a 20-year-old from this village, says that young adults like her are forced to hide what they are doing in the cities by sometimes pretending to be men. "You never know who might be watching," she said. If word gets back to the village that a young woman has stepped outside the village's moral boundaries, her life could be upended in a day.
In Africa, more and more people have been killing elephants in national parks for ivory. This is a huge problem since the number of elephants in the world is decreasing at a rapid rate. Poachers are also killing people who attempt to stop them. One official said that the poachers pop out of nowhere and kill rangers in the parks. It has become very dangerous for the rangers because there are few of them to protect large areas of land.
Citizens of Caribbean countries are demanding reparation for the damages slavery caused. Not only do they want money, they also want apology from the colonial powers of Britain, France, and the Netherlands. Although slavery was outlawed in 1807 in Britain, the legacy of slavery still remains. Shortly after 1807, Britain did pay compensation for the abolition of slavery, but they paid it to the slave owners, not the slaves.
Last Friday, Malala, the Pakistani girl who was shot by the Taliban, visited Queen Elizabeth and her husband, Prince Philip. When Malala met the Queen, she gave her a copy of her newly published autobiography called I Am Malala. The main focus of the meeting was to talk about education in the United Kingdom. Malala said, "I hope that we will all work together for the education of every child." Malala earlier met with President Obama to also encourage him to focus more on children's education.
You probably have heard of rehab centers for people addicted to such things as drugs and alcohol. But have you heard of a rehab for technology addicts? A new facility outside Seattle is now the first rehab center for the 21st century addiction It is in a wooded place with a variety of activities. The program, which is called Restart, lasts 6 weeks, and during that time, people learn how to get control of their lives and find joy away from technology again. Here's Karis with the service news.
Thank you all for coming out and supporting the Birthday Bags project. An extra kudos goes to 7th grade for bringing in the most supplies. Now come out and support the JDRF Walk for Cure. It will be held Saturday, October 26th from 9:30 to 11:30. Another great project is Project Pearl. It will take place on Saturday, October 26th from 10 to 2 o'clock. If you're interested in books, then come volunteer at the Summit School's Book Fair on November 2nd, times 9 through 11, and November 3rd and 9th from 2 to 4. Lastly, come run or volunteer at the Mackefeller Donut Run, November 16th from 8 to 10:30. Come out and support your community. Hope to see you there. Oh, John Bryce has our news.
JV field hockey won their last game 1-0. Girls tennis finished their season with a 2-4 loss to Salisbury Academy. Football completed their season in a game against Forsyth Country Day School. They lost 28-0. Varsity field hockey finished their season with a tie 0-0. JV volleyball was good enough to play in the area tournament. They lost to MCCS 2-0. Varsity volleyball won their third consecutive tournament championship. All of their wins were 2-0. Here's Jabari with the weather.
On Saturday, it will be sunny with a high of 56 degrees and a low of 38 degrees. On Sunday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 63 degrees and a low of 41 degrees. In Burnt Corn, Alabama, on Saturday, it will be mostly sunny with highs around 70 degrees and a low of 43 degrees. On Sunday, it will be mostly sunny with a high of 73 degrees and a low of 48 degrees. Now, here's El Tiempo Aguilas.
Buenos días, amigos. Yo me llamo Estefanía.
Y yo me llamo Mateo. Bienvenidos al programa El Tiempo Águilas. Este es el tiempo para el fin de semana.
Viernes, la temperatura alta es de 15 grados centígrados con mucho sol. Sábado, la temperatura alta es de 16 grados centígrados con sol. Domingo, la temperatura alta es de 18 grados centígrados y parcialmente nublado.
¡Qué bien! Entonces este fin de semana necesito llevar una jaqueta, camiseta, pantalones, calcetines y zapatos. Es todo por ahora.
Adios!
That's a wrap for Worldview this week. Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks to the entire crew. So long and be safe.